Hello.
Hey.
Let's start from small introduction for our audience.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Rahul. I'm the founder of AI Hero. And AI Hero helps SaaS companies deploy their software into their customers' cloud in less than 30 minutes.
Amazing. 30 minutes. It's very quickly.
Yeah.
So can you tell more detail what functionality you have and how you do this?
Yeah.
Magic.
So a lot of founders I spoke to, the recurring problem they had was their customers want to use their SaaS software, but they don't want to send the data. And right now what you do is you give a Helm chart or some sort of Docker container to the customer, but then the customer comes back and says, well, it's not working. And now you're spending time in a pre-sales motion trying to figure out why is it not working. Once deployed, let's say the customer comes back with some feedback, you give an upgrade, it's not working for the customer because they didn't roll out the front end and the back end together.
Okay.
Right? Something like that is happening.
Yeah.
So this motion of deploying the SaaS software in a very robust, repeatable manner, at the same time taking care of the security challenges for the end customer, that's what I'm focusing on.
Amazing. Do you have some interesting and success story who use your product?
So some of the previous customers I've worked with, they wanted to deploy, they've built up a nice SaaS, right? And they want to ship features. They don't want to be dealing with the hand-holding for the customer. A couple of data points, somebody I talked to from a product discovery standpoint said that they spend like about 5 hours for a competent company to deploy their SaaS into their cloud. But if it's not that, if they don't have that much technical competency with containers and Kubernetes, then it takes like about 100 hours. Right? So there's in a pre-sales motion when the customer is just trying you out, this is too much of a manpower to spend on it, and it's not scalable.
Okay.
So what we believe in is a lot of this can be automated with infrastructure as code, but in order to get it repeatable and in a trustworthy way is the hard problem. So that's what we're focusing on, which is how do you establish trust with the customer on whose cloud will be running this, but then being able to reproduce and repeatably deploy your software into multiple clouds, because you don't want to just build it for one cloud, right?
Yeah, and for deploy perspective, what is different between deploy, for example, traditional application and some classic machine learning model like computer vision and deploy LLMs?
So there's different, what we're seeing in the last couple of years is a lot of different models or software companies come up who are AI native, right? They're providing either agentic workflows as a solution, or they're being more vertical, which is they're providing, let's say, finance AI app, or they're providing a legal AI app. All of these companies, they use an LLM model, but they don't necessarily serve the LLM model themselves. So most of the value prop is in the compute that they have, but not the GPU-based stuff. I think the requirement for running it with native GPUs in your own cloud comes from the customer who's like, we only want to run on our GPUs or something that we trust, an open source model, because we don't want to send our data to our clients.
Sometimes they have some rules.
It's a compliance issue, or like, let's say you're in the government space where you want to do this, right? So the requirement for that is coming more from the customer, not from the vendor. The play here is more on the, okay, how do we make sure that the customer gets to use the software with the GenAI parts of it, but also with the LLMs part of it. So just right now, I'm coming from a talk that I gave with Sam, a design partner for us, who has this software called Cube AI, which scales up your GPUs up and down as you need them, all the way down to 0. So if you have incoming traffic, their app allows you to scale. But then if there's nobody, let's say it's end of the workday, nobody's using that GPU app, it'll help you scale down to 0. And so there are these nice challenges that we are tackling along with our design partners to accelerate how enterprises adopt AI.
Cool. And what is the price of your solution and how customer can try it?
Yeah, so for the free, so for the It's a freemium model. I think if the customer has a motion for pre-sales motion, we are letting them try it out as long as the customer's trying it out themselves, right? Because it's very early for both the customer or the vendor to figure out whether this works or not. Once, obviously, the customer is willing to put your software in production or in staging or internal development, then we add more observability on top of it. We add like better security controls and things like that, and that makes it a priced model.
I understand. So where do they need to go to try it?
Yeah, so we'll be launching this in the next week. You can find us on aihero.studio.
Good. And a second part, in which I want to discuss with you, it's MLOps community.
Yes.
You were very active in Bay Area and organize a lot of different meetups and also conferences, I remember, regarding MLOps.
Yeah.
So can you tell more about this community and what is waiting us in near future?
Yeah. So I'm very passionate about MLOps and the community. For me, the community is about not like these one-off events, but it's a place where people can go and learn, like how do you productionize AI, right? And so we are trying to get the best and brightest minds to share their knowledge with the amazing engineer community we have, who are shipping models inside their own companies and being able to like do it at scale or solve some of the operational challenges of it. So me and a couple of other of my volunteer organizers, we are organizing in San Francisco. We have about one event per month at least, and then we have about 60 to 70 people showing up on most of our events. Sometimes like the one we had last week where we had with Lambda Labs, Crew AI and Llama Index, we had about 150 people in the room. So it's exciting times to be in San Francisco. And as a community, all I want to do is put great content up together so that people can learn and people can grow.
Yeah, and if anyone opened their calendar for AI events, every day there are several events. So how you compare with us?
This is a competitor question in the event space. Look, I think a lot of people are putting great events together. So there was one event when there were 21 events happening on the same evening in San Francisco. And it's really hard for the attendee to choose which one, right?
It's crazy.
It's really crazy. So what I'll say is this, right? Like, I think a lot of different communities have their own value prop that they offer to their attendees. What we like to do is make sure our talks are technical, and we sometimes get a little too technical, which maybe is not for a larger crowd, but people who are engineers who really like to learn would love our events.
And they try to find some really technical events. Yeah, amazing. And if someone wants to join, how they can do?
Yeah, stay tuned for our, like on the weekly calendars you see here, we have one event coming up May 21st, and then we have a larger summit almost coming up May 28th, which is going to be like about 600 people. So we are excited for that in San Francisco. You can check out mlops.community and you'll find more information there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.